Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is book club. I have recently got back into loving reading. Any second of the day I try and read if I've got a spare moment, reading before I go to bed, reading when the kids are watching TV at work and I'm not really bothered about watching Topsy and Tim again, and reading whenever I can, and really enjoying it, managing to read books on a 2, 3, 4 week basis. I'm pleased with myself because I used to love reading and I just kind of stopped because I was like, oh no, but I want to watch this and I want to watch that, and I was like, no. Now I've had loads of books for ages and I'm just trying to get through them all. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about a few books that I've read that I would recommend to people. I've actually, 2 of them I don't have anymore. I don't actually have the books itself to show you because I lent them to the next person. Well, not lent them, I just passed them on. It's nice to do that, isn't it? Once you've read something, you're like, here you go, you read it, and then you can kind of talk about it. So the number one the first book I'm going to talk about is called Into the Water. This book was written by the same person that wrote Girl on a Train. It was one that I had walked past so many times in Sainsbury's, Tesco, wherever. I'd seen it on billboards and I was like, oh god, I really want to read that, it looks really good. And I'm saying it looks really good, all I could see was the cover and I was just like, yes, I'm drawn into that, really want to read it. Let me see if I can find the cover for you because it's a bit annoying, isn't it, that I'm talking about a book and you don't even know what it looks like. Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. It was so good. I loved it. Now, I loved it. I was obsessed with it from the minute I started reading it. Basically what happened was I'd been reading a book. I took the kids to soft play one day and I went, oh guys, you don't need me, I need to get a magazine. And then I seen this book and I was like, I'm gonna read this. Wanted to read it for ages. It was like $3.99 from Tesco. I love that when they're so cheap as well. And I started reading it and I was hooked from the very first page. That's how I felt about it. Now, it was quite higgledy-piggledy in the way that it was a chapter about one person, a chapter about another. There was a list at the front with the characters and who they were and whatever, if they were related to anyone, and you know, a little gist about everyone. So I did at first keep having to go back and check who people were as it changed like names. The chapters were quite short as well, which is what I really liked about it. Bless me. And I just really loved it from the start, and it was a bit kind of like a whodunit. It was kept going back through different time zones and I really enjoyed it, and I do quite like that kind of writing. I told my mum that I was going to bring her the book and she went, oh, I've already got it and I've started reading it. Now, she wasn't sure. She said from the whole way through she just couldn't get into it, whereas I was the complete opposite. Like any time of day I was reading this book. And I was so determined to finish it because I really wanted to find out what had happened. I also gave it to Charlie's mum and she enjoyed it. She said she found it a bit difficult because it was going from person to person, but I don't know, I suppose everyone's different and I just like that kind of way. So that's one of my books that I would recommend, Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. My next one is The Break by Marion Keyes, and I think that I was reading it one morning when I was vlogging, and I'll see if I can find that for you. Hang on. Here it is. That's what it looks like. The Break by Marion Keyes. Marion Keyes is my favourite author. I'm putting it out there. She always will be, I think. I don't think anyone's going to top her books. I've literally read nearly all of her books and I've loved every single one. Really weird, a dragonfly just flew past my window. Anyway, I really loved it, and it was one of them that I got quite involved with. So it's basically, I have said this before, the story is about this lady. She's got children, and her husband has had a few kind of things that have upset him recently. His dad died, his friend died, and he's not been himself for quite a while. And he decides that he wants a break, a 6 months break, a 6-month break from her, 6-month break from family. He wants to go away to Southeast Asia, and when he comes back, which he says he will come back, and they'll go back to normal. And it's the whole time of, well, is she on a break as well? She's on her own for 6 months, all these things keep happening and she's dealing with them on her own. There'd be times when I was laughing, and the moments when laughing 1 minute, crying the next, just like, oh my God, I was just so involved in this book. It made me like, I think because all this stuff was happening to her, it made me like, I was just like thinking about it. I think I actually thought I was this character. But honestly, there's not one book of hers I haven't enjoyed, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's really good. It's quite a thick book, like there's a lot, but again the chapters are quite short, so that's always good, because you can just go, oh, I need to quickly read this chapter, and then you can put it down. My next one is one I only just finished reading yesterday. It's the sequel to Wild Like Me by Louise Pentland, and I pre-ordered this book, so I got it on the day it came out, and it was a signed copy too. Let me show you. So this is it, this is the book. It has been featured in many an Instagram post lately, alongside a Diet Coke probably, and I have read it in 2 weeks, which for me is so quick, because I don't ever have like a good few hours where I can sit and read. It's just here and there when I can, and I would say it's an easy read. I would say Louise, her first book, I loved her first book, and again I read that really quickly as well, but I do think she has evolved as a writer, and her book has got, this one is, I think, is even better than the last one. I am like, some of the things in it, I'd be like reading it in bed next to Charlie, going, oh my God, and he'd be like, what? And I'd say, oh, this has happened, and then something exciting would happen and something sad would happen. I'd be laughing, it made me cry at parts because it really resonated, some of the situations in the book, and I was just like, oh God. But then it was just so good. It was like some of the things that have been said about it are empowering. I love Robin Wilde, and I loved it. I did love it, I really did, and I would happily read it again. I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks, and I really wanted to save it for holiday, but because it's a hardback, I was like, I don't want to ruin it on holiday. And I normally would pass a book on straight away, but I'm not. I really want to get myself a bookshelf, and I want to display books in my flat. But I'm going to keep this because it's a signed copy. I don't want anyone else having it, and I've tried to keep it so nice. So there's my 3 books that I've read lately. My next one that I'm going to read, I'm going to show you some that I'm going to read and some that I'm going to take on holiday with me. I've had these for quite a while. So Katie Price, Playing with Fire. I've read all of her books, all of her novels. I'm not sure she writes them, but I really love them. Again, they're quite an easy read, and it's not too thick, and I'm not sure, let me have a look at the chapter length. It's actually, although it's not that thick, it's quite small words, whereas I think Wild Like Me was a bit bigger, and I liked that. So this is about a girl called Indigo. She could never have predicted she'd be running her own events agency, aged just 27. Organising celebrity parties and glamorous launches is the reward of years of hard work. And when restaurant entrepreneur Connor asks her to plan the opening of his new Shoreditch nightclub, she knows this could be the event that puts glamour to go on the map. So, I don't know, it sounds right up my street. Someone's put the perfect most modern fairy tale. I'm speaking quickly because my battery's flashing, which is just bloody typical. You'll love this. A Katie Price novel is one of life's guilty pleasures. I really love Katie Price novels, so that's my next one to read. I might start it today actually. And then I've got a few more. This one is Mark Edwards. I have read his books. I've read I think 3 or 4. Follow You Home. Really good. These were the first thriller books that I'd ever read. I'd never really read a thriller. I'd always read funny, girly, romantic. Loved them. And my mum said, you need to try this Mark Edwards. And I was like, okay. And he has written The Magpies, which was my first one I read. And I actually think I listened to it on Audible, but it was so good. I was hooked. The Magpies and Follow You Home, and I think because she loves me, let me see. yeah, Because She Loves Me. And I also read What You Wish For, and that was really good as well. Really good. I need to try another few of these. There's some more. The Devil's Work, The Lucky Ones, A Murder of Magpies. What is that? And Kissing Game. I need to try these. And he's also written some with another author called Louise Voss, which I haven't read any of them yet. So this is his latest one called The Retreat. Even just the front cover looks eerie, doesn't it? A girl with a tree. Nothing more spooky than a girl in front of a tree. My mum read this. My mum's boyfriend read this when they were on holiday, and they both said it was really good. It says, a missing child, a desperate mother, and a house full of secrets. So I'm going to be, oh, this is quite small writing. But I actually don't think I've read one of his. I think I've always listened to them. So that'll be good. I'm going to take that on holiday for sure. I've got another two. This one I definitely will be taking with me. It's I actually think Vicky gave me this. Shout out to Vicky. This is another Marion Keyes book. It's one that I haven't read, The Woman Who Stole My Life. And I started reading it the other week, but then I got Louise's book and I was like, I need to read that first. So I've only read like 16 pages, but I'm going to take that on holiday. Like I say, they're quite chunky and intimidating, but they're just so bloody good. Excited to read that. And I've got another one that I think someone bought me last year, Lucy Diamond, Over You. I think I have read a few of Lucy Diamond's books. I like the cover. Let me see, what's she written? I was going to say, I think I've read Over You. Clearly I haven't, it's this one here. Oh, maybe I haven't read any of hers. Oh yeah, The Beach Cafe, have I read that? Oh, I don't know, but I think I've seen her books about. So this one looks nice, and it looks like a nice girly read. Seamless, engaging, believable, fun and heartfelt, said Heat. An absolute treat, said Katie Ford. So I'm going to take this one, and this one on holiday. So there we go. That was Ashley Jane's book club. I'll tell you what I'll do. When I come back from holiday, I will tell you about the books and tell you if they were really good. I'm sure they will be. I just can't wait. Can't wait to sit on a sun lounger and just lie and read books. Charlie's going to think I'm really boring, isn't he? But so what? I'll be inside the book. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe and you haven't already, it should be red down below. Hit that subscribe button and then you will be connected with me. That sounds really gay. You will be, you'll get a thing with all your You'll be able to keep up with all my videos. That is what I'm trying to say. Oh my god, it took me a long time to get there. Right, see you in my next video. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. So good I can't bloody remember its name. Into the Water. This book is the second book, not the second book, it's probably, I don't know, maybe more than